Okay, so today I'm going to tell you a story about Strepsiptera. Does anybody already know what they are?
Yes, because
Oh, good. I like when people don't know. Okay, so they're a type of insect. It's a whole order of insects, and they are sister to beetles, and they don't look anything like beetles. And they're parasitoids, and so they live inside of other insects. And it's really crazy because not only do they live inside of other insects, which is like cool alien biology anyways, sometimes one species of Strepsiptera, the female will parasitize a grasshopper, and the male will parasitize a polystewasp. So it'll be totally different, and they have to find each other. But their life cycle is really metal because they start as... I have to put my beer down for this. They start out, their first larval stage is called the instar, and they're called triangulins, and it's little hairs on them, and they foot themselves onto a new host, and then they find where the turga of the insect meet, so like the little hard parts, and there's kind of fleshy bits in between, and they have saliva with chitinases in it, and then they degrade the insect, and then they go butt in first into the back of the insect, and they're up in the abdomen of the insect. That's a very warm fire. And they hang out in there, and they molt to their second larval stage, their third larval stage. They pupate inside of the host. They're butt in first, so they get nutrients through their butt when they do this. And then they eventually turn into adults, males and females. The males are really crazy. If you know anything about entomology, like their eyes are really weird. Their eyes look like larviform eyes, so they're kind of unusual to have them as an adult. The males only have one set of wings. In flies, they have one set of wings in the front, and they have halteres in the back. Strepsiptera have halteres in the front, these little knobby bits that help them navigate, and they only have wings in the back, the males. They live for 5 hours. They do not eat, and they have to go find a female, which might be on a completely different insect than they just came out of. And the female that they're looking for, when she molts into an adult, remember she's butt in first, she molts and she doesn't have legs, she doesn't have wings, she doesn't have mouth parts, and she has no orifices. There's no opening, and so only her head is sticking out of the butt of the butt of the other insect. She's butt in first to the other insect. The butt is a really critical part of this story. And so the male has 5 hours, and he has to go find her. And if he is so lucky, he gets to go through a process known as traumatic insemination. And
traumatic insemination.
Indeed. You like male males better than traumatic insemination?
Okay, continue with.
Okay, so traumatic insemination. She's butt in first, no orifice, head sticking out. He stabs her in the back of his head with his penis. And he releases sperm into her body cavity. And then the sperm have to find their way to the eggs, which are at the posterior end of her body.
But she's still in the other butt.
Oh, she's butt in first to the butt. She's butt in first to the butt. And then there's internal fertilization. They hatch into cute little triangulins. And then they have to eat their way out through their mom's head. I told you they were metal.
It's traumatic.
Bed bugs also do traumatic insemination. You can tell if it's a virgin female based on if she has stab wounds on the side.
Wow.
And the sperm